I'm Carrie Lazat. Welcome to Coffee with Carrie, where we talk to people who help make Bloomfield Township a wonderful place to live, work, and play. And today we have a very important guest that is talking to us about food insecurity in Bloomfield Township, Oakland County, and what's going on. Ryan Hertz of Lighthouse, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about, this is a conversation that's happening everywhere right now with a lot of people as far as what's happening with the SNAP benefits being in jeopardy, I'll say, and not being funded because of the government shutdown. So if you're a resident of Bloomfield Township or surrounding area and you need help, how is Lighthouse a resource for that?
Well, it's a great question. As recently as this morning, we actually did a very large open food distribution. We had over 400 households come to pick up emergency food at our headquarters in Pontiac. That was in partnership with Gleaners and was a little bit of a larger distribution than is typical for us. We provide, in addition to many other services, we provide emergency food out of 3 physical pantry sites in Clarkston, Pontiac, and Southfield, as well as food delivery of groceries to people's homes in 75% of the 62 cities in Oakland County. And so for residents of Bloomfield Township, they could reach out directly to us if they find themselves in a situation where they truly need food assistance.
Mm-hmm. So, and the difference is what you provide. You provide groceries, not just meals, and so people can do whatever they want with the groceries.
Correct. We don't provide prepared meals through our emergency food distribution. We do provide prepared meals to our emergency shelter residents. We have emergency shelter for families with children, as well as for unaccompanied youth in Pontiac and in Royal Oak, respectively. And of course, we provide 3 meals a day in those settings. But when it comes to our specifically food-focused programs, they're oriented around groceries and equipping the household for their food needs more broadly.
So if somebody does need help, and who are you seeing these days? I mean, it's
everybody. Everybody. I think people don't realize that a pretty significant percentage of the population receives SNAP benefits.
I think it was 1 in 8, which is the statistic that I saw, and it's mostly children, elderly, and disabled people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, so an example of why that is say in our family shelter, all of the households have children, but all of them have an adult head of household, and typically the children outnumber the adults in the household, and that's the case as well for households receiving SNAP. So it is mostly children. When it's single adults, it's mostly disabled and elderly folks. And 60% of the folks who access our emergency food services are also on SNAP. SNAP is supplemental and usually doesn't meet the complete needs of a household. And so prior to this current scenario, we already were in a situation where we had to meet considerable additional need in our community.
And you were saying it's supplemental, so a lot of these people are working.
The vast majority are, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Most of the folks that we serve, and I think this is part of the reason why people don't realize how many folks are on SNAP, is that we've really stigmatized poverty, and we've stigmatized needing help in our society, and it's created a situation where people don't necessarily share that they need to receive SNAP benefits. And so there's a sort of perception that it's the problem somewhere else, and not that it's our neighbors and it's people right in our community that need these additional resources. We have a pretty substantial percentage of the population of Oakland County who are maybe not impoverished, but are living on the edge due to just the reality of affordability in our community. And we have an economy that requires low to mid-income workers. So we have people who need to live within proximity of our places of business in our community. For every high-income job we add to our economy, we're adding 4 to 6 low to mid-income jobs also to that economy in order to support those families that are coming into our community. And unfortunately, we just don't have a solution for affordability for a large percentage of the low to mid-income working folks in Oakland County.
So tell me, since these are our neighbors, if you do want to help, what is the best way to do that? What opportunities are there for volunteering? And explain that to us.
Sure. There's a lot of ways to get involved at Lighthouse. I know right now most of my conversations have been around food because of the SNAP benefit situation. And, our organization has faced other crises before, obviously during the pandemic, which was, maybe less in our control, so to speak, and we didn't know where the end was going to be. We really saw a big outpouring of community support, and there was quite a significant understanding of why people might need additional food, why people might need support around shelter, et cetera. In the current scenario, we're seeing an outpouring of support. But we want people to know that the same households that are seeing their SNAP benefits impacted are also the same households whose rental assistance programs are potentially at threat by HUD. They're the same households who are likely going to see dramatic increases, if they haven't already, to their health care insurance premiums. And so we want to make sure that folks, look at the long view. So, get involved and help Lighthouse. Right now, we do have additional need for support for our food program. You can visit our website at lighthousemi.org and contribute financially. We can actually make your money go a lot further in food purchases than you can if you go out and shop and bring food to us. It's also a lot easier for us to buy food in bulk and have it pre-sorted than have it come to us and have to work with volunteers to resort it. To resource our pantries, you can contribute online at lighthousemi.org. You can also sign up to volunteer with us via our website at any of our pantry sites, and you can also volunteer to do home deliveries of our groceries to our residents. And then there's other ways to be involved in the other work that we do as well. As I mentioned, we provide emergency shelter to families with children, unaccompanied youth. We provide transitional housing for single parents. We provide transitional housing for unaccompanied youth as well, who are transitioning out of our emergency shelter program. We have a Centers for Working Families program focused on increasing earned income, access to benefits, financial coaching, and we do affordable housing development as well and community development to try to address the affordability barriers. When we look at the households that come to Lighthouse, the reason they're there is some mix of, their pay rate isn't high enough to meet their family's needs. They can't afford it's affordability issue in order to live close enough to where they work. It also could be the issue of threats to benefits, and so it's the whole picture. And I think we try to look at the problem holistically, household level and also at the level of affordability. So we do focus on real estate development to that end.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your team and who helps support this work?
Of course. We have over 80 staff members at Lighthouse that are real-life superheroes, I always say. They work day in and day out. Most of our staff are social workers, case management staff, coordination staff at our shelter sites, our pantry sites, the folks who go out and do in-home supportive services for our tenants of our housing development communities, as well as scattered site throughout the community. We have a wonderful team of folks who coordinate our volunteers, who work on fund development to make sure that we can make this all happen. And more broadly, we have thousands of volunteers each year that work with our organization that are really the engine that allows us to get so much done for people.
So I know a lot of our viewers, a lot of people in general, they like to hear things by numbers because that helps them process. You want to talk about how much, what is your annual budget, and then I guess how much food is budgeted for a family? Do you have anything typical, like what's,
Well,
what are the SNAP benefits?
Our food program is actually a very small percentage of our budget. A lot of the food that we receive comes through our local food bank and rescue partners. So we work very closely with gleaners, and we work closely with Forgotten Harvest. We do purchase. We get a lot of our fresh produce and dairy and eggs. We get that through our relationship with gleaners. We get some rescued produce and other items through Forgotten Harvest, and we are able to purchase at wholesale through gleaners shelf-stable food. So we have to purchase that food. We have to employ the staff to run those facilities and coordinate our volunteers. But that's actually one of the smaller parts of our overall budget. The bulk of our budget is oriented around staffing our shelter programs, our facilities, and our affordable housing development work. Our annual budget, it varies year to year depending on what programs are available at any given time. In recent years, it's varied usually between about $15 million and $25 million. There's been periods of time where there's been much larger rental assistance programs available in the community and times where those aren't available.
You're very busy.
We're very busy.
Like,
we have $150 million in real estate currently under development between 3 multifamily affordable housing buildings in Pontiac, 1 in Detroit, and the redevelopment of our campus on the Loop in Pontiac. And so outside of our operating budget, a lot of our work right now is focused on capital development.
How much, like the annual income for somebody that's going to get SNAP benefits? What is the...
It varies, depends on the household size. 60%, I can tell you, we serve about last year we served 111,000 people in our food distribution programs across Oakland County. I believe 60% of those were SNAP benefits recipients. And I think it's somewhere around 96,000 SNAP benefit recipients throughout Oakland County currently. In terms of individuals within, I'm trying to think of how many households that is. I think it's around 45,000 households.
Wow. I guess, these questions that I have, it's just my ignorance and having really no idea how it all works. And, I'm fortunate enough that if I have a job where I can go buy the groceries that I need. And I just, this national conversation that's been going on around the benefits and how much people are, how little it seems that they get to be able to spend in their food budget. I think it's certainly made me think about, what am I spending my money on? And
Yeah, it's meant to be supplemental. I mean, when you hear those numbers, rightfully, that's not enough, right? And again, the bulk of people we're talking about here do have earned income. It's just a matter of, affordability and having all those pieces work together. It's good for our economy to have low to mid income workers be able to thrive in our community, and so that's why we focus so much on housing affordability. It's a major pressure point, so to speak, that we can leverage in order to try to create opportunity for people. It's a big percentage of people's monthly spend. I think we have close to 150,000 households in Oakland County that are rent burdened, meaning that they spend more than 30% of their gross income on their rent. They're vulnerable. They also have to eat. The affordability for the whole gamut impacts them, and their income impacts them. And sometimes there's a disconnect. Organizations like ours certainly work with the household level to try to help them increase earned income. The reality is that workforce development programs and other programs focused on targeting households and helping them move up the economic ladder are important, and also we need low to mid income workers in our economy. And so recognizing that we need to invest in and value everybody is really core to our work. So while at the individual level we want to see people grow and thrive, we also want to make sure that we as a community are capable of providing basic needs for people across the economic spectrum.
We're so lucky to have you doing work in our community, so thanks for being with me today.
It's my pleasure and a privilege to do this work on behalf of the people that we serve every day. Thanks for having me here.
Yes, absolutely. Ryan, thank you again for joining me today, and appreciate the work that you do.
It's my pleasure.
We'll see you again next time on Coffee with Carrie. Thanks for joining me.